What's up, people? What's up? Let me take this shit off. Alright, guys. Guess who's back? But anyways, so here we have. Damn, I can't see it. There you go. So here we have the S&P 500. We're in the monthly candle, and it's 10:40 p.m. 9:03 Arizona time. Monthly still started early. The Fed was gonna talk halfway. Still got another week to see how that week closes. So this week is still important, but we still have another one to just. But every candle, how they close is very important. When you think about the market, I think about the market at least how they say how, pretty much when people buy a low price, market goes up, dummies, the dummies buy at that high. So therefore, the smart people sell, and the market peaks and it goes down. And that's just it. That people, regular retail, and maybe some banks, but the regular folks, me, you, whatnot, or just rich people, but just the fact that it's just us pretty much seeing, oh, you just think you're buying at certain different rent prices. We all think that. You buy at one, I buy at 75 cents, somebody else buys at 150, and so on, right? And it goes up, and then we exit point. A certain stock, they goes to maybe 5, and you feel like 5 was too high, and it goes down to 50 cents, and so on. So people just buying around times or whatnot. But when you see the market where they close from a monthly to the 1 hour candle, you're like, what a coincidence. And then how you see how data is already scheduled, pre-planned already. And you'll see how certain events point events will be released maybe 2 hours before closing time. Earnings, especially when it's the big guys, they'll release their earnings after the market closes. So therefore, it gives the regular guys, the regular retail, to panic, buy or sell toward the end, especially instead of having it, somewhat to mid 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. So investors, traders have a better chance of going in and out instead of leaving it and then the market opening having bad earnings or whatever it was, and that by the time the market opens, that stock has fallen like crazy and it's still falling. So anyways, back to this, you guys. So I'm gonna go over the S&P 500 because tomorrow is very important, you guys. Tomorrow the S&P 500 will release private payroll. That's what we're paying attention to tomorrow. And we're in a tight spot with the market right now. In the last 4 years, I've never been in a spot like this. I think where good is bad and bad is good. Because if we have all right data, the market's gonna be happy with that. Because interest rate is still gonna be coming soon, September. And if data comes out too strong, where normally with the market would skyrocket and be happy because of that, it's more of a oh man, because they feel like the Fed's not gonna cut the interest rate this month. It's gonna be pushed. But with this data, and that's why I say to pay attention to if data comes out at 7 or even 5:30, pay attention to between 7:45 to 8:30. That's when the market really tells you where it's heading to, even if it has some sort of back data, especially when we have mixed data. But the main data is happy as fuck where it's good. That's you'll see that how the data will come out, the market will slide down a little bit, and then it'll correct itself because they'll brush it off for whatever reason, and then it'll start stabilizing and going back up again. And they'll say investors, the S&P rallies as investors now focus on so-and-so bullshit and whatnot. So anyways, you guys. So we have day's data right here showing how many private sector jobs were added in August. Honestly, I feel like me reflecting on my job, I feel like we haven't really hired people, which is to me in the health industry. So sometimes I believe it's gonna be bad news or all right or either bad news where instead of the market being sad about it and dropping, it's Even if it drop, I believe we're gonna stabilize and then recover because now the market, you see shit like market drops and stabilizes as now investors give, they have a feeling of, hey, Powell's gonna fucking definitely cut the interest rate. So after the market getting all that is gonna do that shit. That's the good part about this shit, that even if we have bad data, you guys, the market will see that as happy because that's gonna make the Fed cut interest rates even faster. That's how investors are looking at it. That's why it's a weird situation. On top of that, we just had the tariffs deal. So court rulings are to get this shit cut off because supposedly they're illegal sometime in October. So if they don't come through in October, whatnot, market is gonna fucking rally from that. So if we, it makes me wonder if we do have bad data in between September and October, and we get good news from tariffs that they're gonna be canceled, and then that saves the market somewhat, and then recovers somewhat, and then whatever data we end up getting December, the rest of the year, kind of we recover from that. But anyway, that's so much in the future. So that's what we have for tomorrow, you guys. And let's now go to the weekly again. The fact that it's holding this weekly right here for the S&P 500 at 6,440, pretty much 600, 450. The fact that we were holding this whole time is also very bullish. So yesterday, I was talking to you about right here how we needed to sustain about these two weekly supports. They were acting like supports, and I'm going to go down to that area. Now, the area that we pay attention to is between this weekly and where we closed this last week. That's the area we're focusing on. So now we're gonna go to the daily and notice how we have a 3 candle box right here. So you have the first one gives you your support, the second one gives you your resistance, and you box it up. The fact also that the S&P is also broke the day above this resistance that it just broke on Tuesday, also bullish. And that's what I was looking at it, like it's not crazy bullish. You can tell the market is still scared, but it's still bullish because it closed above that resistance. The nice thing that you wanted was today to close somewhere down here or in the same area. Because then the market really was scared and still need to pass through this big resistance right here of this weekly. So it's another bullish sign right there. Also, this daily close at 2 p.m. So we're going to need to pay attention to, again, 7:45 to 8:30, because if we have bad news, we're most likely going to do shit like this. We're going to, market's going to come back down, but then it recovers because of blah, 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 blah. Hopes of interest rates now going higher and getting cut higher. So pay attention 7:45 to 8:30, and then also pay attention to 11:45 to 12:30, because then that's when this 3 candle is gonna complete, and you're gonna see the S&P close most likely up here to your 6,465 range or above, but and this definitely by there above there if we have good news, or if again, good news, bad news, bad news, good news, again, because of Powell, the rate cuts are coming through. So we're in a weird situation. Now I'm gonna go to a 12-hour candle, and this is why I'm saying it was a point. In the 12-hour candle, we had a 50 Fibonacci. The fact that this happens when you hold the 50 Fibonacci, especially for a 12-hour candle. If it was maybe a 1-hour candle, 2-hour candle, 3-hour candle, 50 Fibonacci, it's not that strong. But when you have a higher candle, the higher you go, and the market is supporting above a 50 Fibonacci, it's something to enclose, especially a month, a daily, a weekly, a 12-hour candle above a 50 Fibonacci. Very bullish, you guys. So like I said, I was telling you guys down here in this region by these 2 weeklies that we need to sustain. And that was on Tuesday night. I go to a 4-hour candle. So here we go, 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and then the market gets saved. So the fact that on Monday, let's go to a 1-hour candle. Here we have Tuesday, 8, 9, 11, 3 candle, another 3 candle box right here. Another perfect 3 candle box. Another one right here. It completed the downtrend, close inside, completed it. So anyways, and here you have another one. If you look into your 2-hour candle, you're probably gonna see it better. No, never mind. But yeah, here was another one. Close inside, going down, close inside, completed it. Here's another one. Anyways, all right, cool. So down here, I said pay attention to on Tuesday, 7:45 to 8:30. Here's your 7, 8, going up again 9 o'clock. It'll give you your buying zone. The market continue going up. Then Trump said his bullshit on TV. Nothing really happened. The way it closed, the market was still very bullish. I mentioned I would need to stay above that and not fall. Anyways, so fast forward to right now. We're way above that weekly, but now we're above this monthly and this weekly area right here. Tomorrow, since we have something looking out for tomorrow, the market is happy. Since we have something coming up, I think it's 5:30 in the morning, and then it's at 6 or anyway, the most important one is gonna be at 5:30. So let me check 5:15. 5:15, the most important one is gonna be 5:15, it's gonna be 5:30 and then 7, I believe. So that's why I say just wait till 7:45, 8:30. Oh, yo, 5:15. That's okay. So since we have data coming in at 5:15, then we put more bullshit up. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does for me, guys. All right, so we have a weekly trend line that we've been on for a minute, and we just broke it right here. You're gonna see this blue line. This blue line is a weekly trend line that we've been on for a minute since May. Since May, we've been on this trend line, and currently we broke it and we're right underneath it. That's what I'm saying. To this area that I mentioned, your monthly, your weekly, we have the data coming at 5:30. So again, time is important. We're coming to 11. If by 11:45. If by 11:45 to 12:30, we're inside this box right here between the prices of 6,465 and 6,448. We're above a 12-hour candle Fibonacci and a 4-hour candle Fibonacci. Nothing above really. We have the week or the weekly, like I said, the monthly anyway. So 11:45 to 12:30. So by 11:45 to 12:30, we're up in this region. By 2 or 3, we're gonna be bullshit here and start passing this and be creating, probably closing here at 2 in the morning, and then trying to rally and bullshit in this area right here. If by 12:45 to 12:30 we start testing this price down here, which is your 6,449 range, we're gonna drop. We're gonna have some little support. It's not gonna be a fucking crazy drop because again, we're looking forward for the 5:15. So even if it drop, we're gonna start around 3 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, and then start rising up again, hitting this range. If we do go down, let me see what my indicators tell me that we have support. And then if we do for the 50, that doesn't gotta show me. All I gotta fucking see is the 12-hour candle and the 4-hour candle. So pretty much if we do go down, we're gonna come down here. We're gonna come down here, test this area right here. Maybe the 4-hour candle 50 Fibonacci, but I fucking doubt it, and go up. I feel like the market is too happy, so we're not gonna go down here. If anything, we're gonna be pushing right here, and I don't really see that. I see the market at 11:45, 12:30 start recovering and going back up and rallying. And tomorrow's gonna be if we have fucking good news. You know, what bullshit is gonna be because we're gonna get on track on the weekly trend line that fucking we've been on. We did close a month below it, but the fact that we're coming back to it, the fact that we're coming by that monthly, the month where we close the month, or just, yo, you guys. And then the fact how Bitcoin is looking right now, damn, I'm gonna try to make this video long. The fact how we're looking with Bitcoin and Ethereum, how bullish it's looking, especially Ethereum, you gotta look fucking Ethereum. But that's why also too, so if we get saved, you gotta see Ethereum go back to the 4,550, or you're fucking crazy to the 400, 550, or even 60, 4,600 range. In between the 550 and 600 range. If not, it's gonna make sense because how it's retracting on now, getting back to the same area, and as S&P gets that bad news, but then again, that bad news is gonna be good news, so this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. So really, the one you want to pay attention to is the S&P 500. That's gonna tell you where Bitcoin is going. That's gonna tell you where Ethereum is gonna go. That's gonna tell you where altcoin is gonna go, and that's gonna tell you where the meme coin is gonna go. Again, EMI indicator right here is showing you this is your entry and these are your targets. It's already telling you too. Why? Because that's your center area. That's the area to pay attention to for these next fucking 4 hours or 3 hours, what the fuck it is. That's gonna play out. 11:45, 12:30. All right, you guys. Manson, you're gay. All right, cool. Wrong guy. Okay, cool. Sorry.